What is going on, everybody? So today I got a video topic here for you guys that throughout the time of me making videos and everything, I get all these questions and stuff on social media, and after a while I'll get a question enough to where I don't just reply back to them in the Instagram post or the Snapchat message that they send me. I'll actually make a video on it, and this is one of those circumstances. So today's question that I have gotten enough to where I actually want to make a video on it is pertaining to those of you who are actually wanting to enlist into the Army, and then you're wanting to do like ROTC, for example, like you're wanting to become an officer. And what happens is these people, they're going through the process of joining, and they're talking to the recruiter, they're telling them their plan and everything, and the recruiter tells them that the MOS that they pick for enlisting into the Army doesn't actually matter. Now, I will say that every single person who is asking this question is either enlisting in the Army Reserves, they're enlisting in the National Guard, or they're doing the Split Ops program, and then they're going to ROTC, right? So they're joining the Army Reserves or whatever, and then they're going to do ROTC, and then the recruiter is telling them that the MOS that they pick, going to basic training in AIT, it doesn't actually matter. So what'll happen is the recruiter will just try to get them to pick whatever MOS is there for them to just go ahead and get them to actually enlist. Because a lot of times, recruiters aren't like out to get you or anything, but they do kind of nudge you a little bit in a certain direction. They're kind of wanting you to enlist like basically as soon as possible, kind of like a salesman. Like, if a salesman's got you in front of you, they don't really want to let you go without, either setting up another date for you to come back and talk to them or something like that. So that's kind of how it is in a way. Like you might tell them that, I'll be back in, a week, and then recruiters all the time, like somebody will tell them that, hey, I'll text you or whatever, I'll set up another meeting or whatever, and then they don't, right? So they're kind of a little bit pushy sometimes, trying to get you to pick an MOS, maybe if you don't even really like it. So my answer to this is yes and no. It doesn't actually really matter that much as far as becoming an officer, because your enlisted MOS is not going to be the same thing as your officer MOS. Some people will tell me that they're wanting to join the Army with this certain enlisted MOS, and they're wanting to know if they can have the same MOS as an officer. The answer is no, because officer MOSs and enlisted MOSs are not the same at all, and it's basically pretty simple. Like when you're enlisted, like you have a specific job. For me, I was a 25 Bravo. I was an IT specialist, right? That was my job. Now as an officer, I'm a 25 Alpha, completely different MOS, but I'm a signal officer, and I'm kind of in charge of all the signal stuff. Also, all the 25 Bravos, all the 25 uniforms, all that kind of stuff. I'm in charge of a group, right? So if I was enlisted, like, you couldn't be an officer with a 25 Bravo MOS, because that doesn't make sense with how the Army operates. So in that sense, it doesn't matter what MOS you pick when you enlist, because you're not going to have the same MOS no matter what whenever you actually become an officer. But for me, I say that it kind of does matter. You don't want to, just not join because you don't get the MOS you want. Maybe you can get something kind of similar because you are wanting to be an officer eventually. But you don't want to pick an MOS that you're just absolutely going to hate, because you are still going to have to go through AIT. If you're not doing the Split Ops program, and what that is when you split up basic training and AIT. So theoretically, you could join with the Split Ops program. You could just pick some MOS, and then you'll enlist, you'll go to basic training one summer, and then you could contract in an ROTC, and then you don't have to go to AIT anymore. So in that case, like, the MOS doesn't matter literally at all, because you're never going to even go to the AIT training to become MOS qualified. But if you are going to basic and AIT, I just recommend, like, pick one that you're not going to hate, right? Just pick an MOS that you're not going to hate, and preferably pick an MOS that will help you becoming an officer, because when you enlist before becoming an officer through ROTC, you're actually going to get a couple extra, basically bonus points as far as your selection process to becoming an officer. So for me, I was a 25 Bravo, which is a signal MOS. I am now a signal officer, so you could say that me having prior experience in the signal branch is going to help me out a little bit as a signal officer. So in that case, it does matter, but it's not like the end of the world if you don't get an MOS that you like completely are in love with, because at the end of the day, when you become an officer, you're not going to have that same MOS. So personally, I would just recommend, if you are enlisting, maybe you can't get the MOS that you want, pick an MOS that's kind of in the same branch as the officer branch that you want. Now, I know a lot of people are confused whenever I say branch and I'm referring to something besides what you're probably thinking about, which is like branches of the military, being it Army, Navy, Marines, all that kind of stuff, right? So those are branches of the military, but inside of that, so inside the Army, we call them different like branches of service, right? So you have the Signal Corps, you have the Engineer Corps, or Corps of Engineers, one of those two. Then you have like aviation, you have the Medical Corps, you have field artillery, ordnance, and some other ones that I'm going to forget if I keep trying to say them all. But those are all just different branches inside of the Army, and inside of those branches, like this Signal Corps, for example, which is what I am, a signal officer, right? So I'm a Signal Corps officer. Inside of that, there's all of the like enlisted MOSs, right? So you have 25 Alpha, which is signal officer. Then you have 25 Bravo, which is the IT specialist. Then you have 25 Uniform, which is like radio something or another. I don't know all the specific things, but you kind of get my point. Like they're all kind of closely related jobs, right? So if you are wanting to enlist and you're wanting to, and you know what kind of officer branch you want to join in. So if you want to do ordnance, or if you want to do FA, field artillery, if you want to do like medical corps, like something like that, it would be, I think, beneficial for you to at least pick a job when you're enlisting that is kind of related to that. So in the branch that you want to branch as an officer. So at the end of the day, if you're wanting to enlist with a specific MOS, like 88 November, right? So a transportation MOS, and you're wanting to be a transportation officer, which is great for logistics and planning and stuff, so that'll help you a lot on the civilian side. So that's the reason a lot of people will pick logistic MOSs, where as an officer, you're gonna do a whole lot of planning, because then when you get out of the military, you're gonna have that experience that's gonna be great. So instead of getting that 88 November, MOS that you wanted, maybe you could just pick another 88 series MOS to get you in the transportation field. And then whenever you go through the ROTC process and everything, hopefully you will become a transportation officer. And then that experience, I think, will actually help you. So that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it helped you out, or I hope maybe if it, it's not something that you're interested in doing, I hope you maybe learned something, another thing that you didn't know about the Army. If you guys did enjoy this video, hit that like button. That would be awesome. If you want to check out some more videos, hit the subscribe button. That would be even better. If you're not following me on Instagram and Snapchat, social media links are right there. I hope you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you later.